Anyway, moving on to our last act tonight. It's our wonderful headliner. She's been coming for about a year and 2 years now? A year and a half-ish?
Almost since the start, I think.
Yeah, definitely since the start. And she's one half of the poetry match that we made.
Yes.
Yes.
With
poetry stand-in who's now in Rome.
He is, yeah.
But we're not here to talk about him.
Because he's not here, so
He's
we
not
don't
here.
care about him.
Fuck him.
We're here to talk about
Sorry. We're here to talk about the other half, the most important half, the female half.
the best part.
The best part. The most talented and most underrated part.
What?
Whoa! I love you. I feel like I got that compliment ever.
The best part.
Hey everyone!
Well, I'm not sure how I'm going to live up to that. I'm sorry! God damn it. Damn you and your compliments. So tonight we've heard a lot of funny things. We've heard a lot of emotional things. Thank you, Kate. And we've heard too much about other people. So I'm going to start off with a slightly introductory poem about myself. I can guarantee 90% of the people I know have asked me this when I met them. So this is Third Culture Kid, if I can ever find it. I'm sorry, where are you from? These are the words I'm used to hearing. I don't fit into any of your preconceptions of who I'm meant to be. So you need to ask about things that are actually none of your business. But I answer it anyway. In my culture, it would be rude. In my culture, we're not rude even if you deserve it. Oh, but you don't sound it. Now I have to explain why I don't sound like your stereotype of how someone like me should sound. Let me take you on a tour of my past. Remember to keep all arms and legs inside the right at all times. Oh, that explains it then. Did you learn English there or by watching cartoons? I don't know about you, but I generally watch cartoons to entertain myself, not to learn a language, with the exception of Dora. And besides, cartoons don't really teach you proper grammar and spelling. So no, I did not learn English by watching cartoons. So, does your family live here, or are they... You don't even remember where I'm from, do you? Are you making sure that more of my people aren't coming over here to take your jobs? To drink all of your tea? Nope, I'm all alone. Just came here to get an education, that's all. Have you ever tried not sounding like that? Well, I can certainly try. Do I pass one of you now? Thank you. I see your reaction. It's making me laugh. So yeah, that was the beginning of the sass tonight. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Also, I should let you all know I am a fetus. I'm still 19. So I'm very young, and you might be thinking, she is definitely not prepared to be here. I have Phineas and Ferb levels of precociousness up here. So these are 20 things I've learned before turning 20. It's okay to return clothes you ordered online. Not all of them will look on you like they did on the model. You're not fat, don't worry. 2, you can't blame yourself for things that have happened to other people, unless you cause them directly. Then blame away. 3, wearing a leather jacket in December is a stupid idea. You will get sick, but you will look as cool as you thought you would. You can't expect anyone else to work around your schedule, no matter how colorfully coordinated it is. You will get a spot days before important events. It's Sod's Law. You can either find a really good concealer, or just get to know it better. Name it. Mine's called Bob. You need sleep. Sugar is not an appropriate substitute for some good old-fashioned Z's. You also need to take breaks. Just because you can schedule in every single minute of every single day doesn't mean you should. You aren't any less than people your age just because you haven't achieved as much as they have. You'll get there. 9. Your people are parents too. Flawed, sometimes misguided, but loving people. They just want you to be happy and safe. Talking to them helps. For the most part. Just because you can make something an innuendo doesn't mean you should. I mean, it's not that hard to understand, is it? I never say I listen to my own advice. 11. Poetry is cheaper than therapy. That's why I'm here. 12. It's okay to tell people to stop doing the things you're not alright with. They will get over it and you won't have to worry about it anymore. 13. Chocolate won't always solve everything, but it's worth trying. 14. It's okay not to drink or smoke. People won't hate you because of it. Unless you have an I'm better than you attitude because of it. Then they will. Not every poem of yours has to be like the first one you wrote and actually liked. Some will be absolutely shit. Some will be better. It's called developing your skills. That's why you're at uni. Just because something is a quote doesn't mean it's deep. Freud said that, I think. If you recognize the fact that you have a problem, don't be noble about it. Get help. 18. Asking for help doesn't make you weak. It makes you stronger. Everyone needs a little help sometimes. 19. You will have plenty of opportunities after uni. Choose the one you actually want to do. There's no point in doing something you hate just for the money. I mean, that's a plus, but it's not one. 20. Enjoy being young and pseudo-responsible. Your 20s will be the years when you actually have to be an adulty adult. I'm not looking forward to that. Alright, thank you. And here come the slightly longer ones. So this one is called Letter to My 14-Year-Old Self. Hi. You're me and I'm you, and this will all get a little less confusing the more I go on. You're not in a good place right now. I know. I found the tear-stained diary pages. I know you won't believe me when I say it does get better. Right now you just want to beat those nasty feelings into the ground until they die. I get it. I still feel like that sometimes. You can't imagine living to 20. I'm a step away from that now, and it still feels impossible. But it's happening, and you make it there. Trust me that you won't always feel as tangled as the headphones at the bottom of your bag. You won't always be on the outside looking in. You will have friends who care about you. So much that it makes your heart burst. I know it sounds impossible. I still have a hard time believing it sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. The tough stuff is just beginning. There will be days when you want to put on makeup and spend 2 hours doing your hair just so the boys will notice you. Trust me when I say it's not worth it. They won't. Save the curlers and the makeup and replace them with sleep. Only put on makeup for days when pictures will be taken. That's when it's worth it. For now, focus on your brain. Save the French books. Don't piss off the maths teachers, they're there to help you. We both know you're smart enough to understand algebra. Stop faking. The right guy will like you no matter how fleek your eyeliner looks. By the way, make a note of that. That's future slang. It might just define your 2015. Being 14 sucks. With no friends and no fun and not much hope, it was lonely. Right now, you hate talking to strangers. You didn't always. You won't always hate it. Sometimes you just need to put a smile on your face and introduce yourself, even if you hate being there. Fake it till you make it sounds like the cheesiest thing you've ever heard, but it worked for me. That's how it starts. It gets easier the more you do it. You'll get used to it by the time your 17th birthday rolls around. You'll have plenty of time to practice. If you think everything is dull now, talk to someone. This is not normal. You should not feel this way. Don't give up on your hobbies. Also, Tumblr is not a good coping mechanism. And if you're looking forward to being 16 and a proper teenager, like the kind that they write books about, don't. Your life won't change dramatically. Unfortunately, it won't make you mysterious, beautiful, and popular like all the other girls. High School Musical and Mean Girls set unrealistic expectations for my education. But even though you can't see it now, you don't want to be popular in high school. You get to be your own person, and as much as you're going to hate it, it'll be the best thing to ever happen to you. You'll write a draft of a novel, and I use the word draft loosely. You'll be incredibly proud of the book you wrote, and rightfully so, but it'll be shit. 50,000 words of shit. There is no way that it will ever see the light of day in a publishing house. You realize this, and you try again. I don't know how many attempts it'll take for you to be published. I'm still working on that myself. But keep writing. Whatever you write, just keep doing it. It'll be the best thing to ever happen to you. Keep writing poetry especially. It'll lead you to wonderful people and even more wonderful places. Don't give up those diaries. It helps me remember what it's like to be 14. You lose that over time. I know you want to get a semicolon tattooed on your wrist. Don't let mom and dad scare you off. Just wait until they've stopped funding your education. You see the world differently to everyone else. You have experiences that no one else will have. Don't listen to the people who say that you can't be unique in a world of 7 billion. You are. No one else is exactly like you, going through exactly the same problems at exactly the same time. You are unique, and so is everyone else. This will blow your mind for years. And so will the fact that you can never have all of your clothes on the hangers at the same time. You can't. So before you get too bored of me, let me end this letter. Be vain. I'd rather you be vain than hate yourself again. Focus on the things you have instead of obsessing over those that you don't. Don't pretend to be someone else to get people to like you. They will love you for who you are. Promise. You might lose some friends along the way. It won't feel nice. Just remember that if they don't want to put in the effort to be your friend, they're not worth your time. And finally, never, ever, ever color your hair with a felt tip. So this is me referencing the other part of this supposedly good poetry couple.
They're adorable, though.
I mean, you are to blame for this.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah, we are the puppet masters.
So this is going to be called The Little Things You Do. There are mornings when my legs are trapped in blanket cocoons and my arms are weighed down by pillows. My brain is telling me that the world will open up and suck me in if I ever get out. I know that thoughts are hard to control. That's why I stopped trying. So I stay in bed. I've stayed in bed watching the sky turn purple, pink, and blue to orange and yellow, and then fade to black. I've seen the lightning split the skies, and spent nights following the beats of raindrops on windows as the drops raced down to the finish line. At least they could see theirs, whereas I couldn't even believe I had mine. So I stayed in bed. The drops on the windows left me when morning came, and I was on my own again. When the lack of grab-and-eat food makes itself apparent on the otherwise empty cupboard shelf, it takes me an hour to psych myself up to get out of bed. Another hour, and I'm prepared to walk out the door. Not ready. Never ready, but prepared. That's as good as it's gonna get. The 2-minute walk to the bus stop causes my brain to work in overdrive. What if I miss the bus? Even though the board says I still have 5 minutes to spare. But what if the shops are closed? Even if it's the middle of the day. What if I get hit by a car while I'm crossing the street? Well, then I guess I don't have to go out and buy food anymore, do I? These conversations with myself lead nowhere but snap out of its city. I don't want to live, but I'm afraid to die. So when the bus comes on time, the shops are open, and I wasn't hit by a car. And since I left the house today, that deserves a little coffee shop treat. I'll have the chocolate. Chocolate gives me serotonin, and serotonin makes me happy. And happy people just don't kill themselves, right? But even the coffee shop can't heal what's wrong with me. Loud mothers on shiny phones, oblivious to rambunctious kids running around in circles. My brain thinks they're circling me. Please don't spill my drink. It's been the best part of my week. I'm on the verge of breaking down from too loud strangers that sit too close to me. And then I get a text. You sent me 2 words, 6 letters, that equals immense relief. Relief that you still want to talk to me, contrary to what my brain has been telling me since we last spoke. You asked me to come over for dinner. To me, that means human company for the first time in 3 days, and a proper meal. I bring the pudding. Within the hour, I'm in your arms, with you being my safety net, security blanket, my teddy bear for when the world is just too much to handle. You see my messy hair that I couldn't be bothered with today, my eyes with the dark circles underneath from not sleeping well for months, and you call me beautiful. You say you love me, despite everything wrong with my brain. You have a little bit of that. I want to save the world inside you. You might not be Superman with the flying and the X-ray vision to see what's really wrong with me. But when you sing me to sleep or give me cuddles when I'm barely holding it together, you're saving me. I think that these things, these little things, the little moments are nothing special. Well, they aren't little, and they mean the world to me. Thank you. So I'm originally from a really small town. It was about 2/3 of the size of Bath, with exactly none of the museums, none of the shops, and none of the history. So sometimes when I go into cities, it's a bit like, why? Why do you do this to me? I don't like you. So this song, not the song, I don't sing. This poem is called Urban Decay. I like living in the city. The buildings stretch for miles in every direction. The concrete statues with all-seeing glass eyes watch you down alleyways and boulevards. Feels like an adventure is right around the corner, where everyone is always doing something, from concerts to dates to parties. Sleeps a stranger in the city. Curious eyes that never flutter closed, and fidgeting hands waiting for the next vice. There's a corner for everything in the city. Everyone is eager for their next trip. It's amazing how I can get anywhere from here. In mere hours, I could be halfway across the world. Or rather, on the other side of town, waiting for the people who jam like sardines. They're contributing to the clutter, where trash bags line the streets between bedraggled trees and parked for days' cars, because space is scarce. There's no room for anything in the city, no room to step, to eat, to live, to breathe. It's clogged and inconvenient, impatient people in fast cars trying to go the same places at the same times, without taking a break, or stopping to catch their breath. But 1 in 5 breaths is toxic smoke, the poison future for a 5-minute break. In this city where everything is disposable, it's lacking sentiment and nostalgia, where the only thing on people's minds is new movies, new singers, new fashion. The old is forgotten and erased. It's a culture of pics or it didn't happen. This is why I don't see friends on streets anymore. I guess the world isn't that small after all. It's this world where everyone is plugged in and excluded. It's a silent disco with no music and no fun. But busy people rarely have the time for that anyway. To them, it's responsibility after commitment. Getting that job, that house, that car. It's status symbols over human connections, and penthouse flats over poetry. They stress and work into an early retirement, but end up in the best possible asylums. I promise. They'll be in the city. Thank you. And these people in particular. So this is called See You Next Tuesday. The war is won. There have been battles lost and then some, but I won. My mind was poisoned for months before this battle. Snide and subtle and just enough to aggravate, but not enough to make me act out. From sly cuts I didn't notice at the time to blatant disregard. Their words became weaponized. I stayed silent. I didn't have the time to grow thick skin when I heard that, see you next Tuesday. It was them versus me who refuses to succumb to abuse. If only I could build a shield from all the shrapnel you threw at me. I would fight back. Them, foaming at the mouth with violence and vibrantly painted portraits of myself as the enemy. Every day, throughout my time in the trenches, it felt like my chest was pushed into the ground, hard to breathe in that toxic environment. My vision blurred and all hope faded. There was no light at the end of the tunnel. But every day, in the dark, I painted wings. My mismatched spiral armor that held up against meant-to-be cutting words, and the scoffs that made me think that 4-letter insults were the only things they knew. I'll see you next Tuesday. The last Tuesday. The last Tuesday they will ruin. The first Tuesday I'll have my life back. I'll walk in, back straight, holding bombs on the tip of my tongue, like an unpinned grenade, ready for escape at any moment. My eyes will be set forward, lips firm and shut, there for only one purpose, a kamikaze goodbye. Thank you. My penultimate poem is going to be another cheesy one, and it's called There Are No Puns in This. I'm probably lying. You'll just have to find out. I don't know how to write poetry. I don't know how to capture how someone makes me feel in words so it translates to a stranger. I can speak 6 languages, and one of them I share with only you. This is a poem to you. I want to let you know how much I appreciate all the things you do to put a smile on my face. From the sweet strums late at night to indulgent smiles at excited antics. I mean, who wouldn't want to go to Warner Further Studios? Like, come on. It's not that bad. So thank you for all the walks home in the dark and kisses in the rain, all the early mornings and late working nights. Thank you for all the help you've given me, from the supportive hugs to celebratory twirls that raise my feet well above the ground. I'm grateful during the spontaneous dates and the many, 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 many puddings, from messages that start my day off with an ear-to-ear smile, making sure I remember to eat lunch during slam work days. I'm glad you stuck around through the wreckage. You're always standing tall beside me, keeping my head up and keeping me here. I'm sorry for all the ice-cold hands and all the lemonade sticky lips and all the tears your shirts mopped up with choruses of, "It'll be alright," and "I'm here's." Thank you for being the person who speaks Ellie more fluently than I do. Thank you for listening in the language of things I can't say, won't say, don't say. Thank you for rolling your eyes when I say I don't know how to write poetry, but I do know how to say thanks. So thank you for being the one person to make me realize that the words behind my lips mean something to me, and for giving me a reason to use them. Thank you for making it your daily mission to have my cheeks ache from endless grins. Thank you for always being the friend I need. Thank you for being you. And thank you guys. I'm not leaving yet. And this is the last poem that I'm going to end it on. If you don't completely hate my poetry, you can find me on Twitter. I will be posting links. Because yes, I like doing this. I think this is the best part of my uni life so far. Coming to these events. That attitude is especially alluring. So this is called Zeros. This is not HTML because you can understand that. You can learn all the curves of brackets, their functions and limitations, and how to fix them when they glitch. This is not HTML because our codes mean different things. Sorry and I'm sorry don't mean the same to me, though the dictionaries are none the wiser. Sorry is what you say when you've had the last piece of cake someone was saving as a post-work treat. It's what you say to a mate who you know will forgive you no matter what. I'm sorry comes spilling out through clenched teeth like your now scarlet arms. No number of syllables can stitch them back together like before, but you might as well try. It's apologizing for bothering someone, for slipping up, for speaking, for taking up space, for existing. It's apologizing for being human. The problem with our brains being different from computers is that this virus chips away at us, bit by bite, until we sit there, hollow and barely functioning. We don't want to be alive. We do what's expected of us and nothing more. You can't program the CSS to make a sane cookie-cutter mold for everyone on the planet. We're all outliers and exceptions to the rule. Night is hoping your friend sleeps well after many drinks on a night out when you've crashed in the same bed. It's comfortable and lazy, and fluffy duvets and mountains of pillows. Good night is for when you want to stop talking, stop thinking, stop breathing. When you don't want to be a burden late at night. It's when you're afraid of your own thoughts and don't want to scare others with the same demons. There is no algorithm for shutting your brain off and putting in a safe start mode. It takes more than a nap to fix everything going wrong with our lives. We can't just turn our brains off and on again and expect the issues to be resolved. What the CSS doesn't understand is that depression isn't just beautiful girls with tears streaming down their faces. It's not shattering at your wrists or fighting a heroic battle for your sanity. Sometimes it's not getting out of bed for 3 days because you're afraid of the consequences. What the binary can't see is that the glitches in our codes are miscommunications or the reasons that we started to hate ourselves in the first place. It sees facts. 1, if you're working, Zero if you're not. I bet we all look like zeros to computers. Bye is what you say to your mate at the end of the day, when you know you'll see them again tomorrow. It's a word and nod when you're too busy working to properly acknowledge someone leaving. Goodbye is final. It's what you say when you don't know if you'll be seeing someone again, let alone when. It's resignation to disappointment. A "you tried" sticker without the humor. I see the scars that shattered your wrists, crisscrossed and jagged, but they've since healed. It's coming up to 6 months now. I see the smiles without smiling. I see the eager eyes that are yearning for good news. I see the emptiness in your eyes, where everything is dull and you cannot bring yourself to like anything. I see your features contorted into anxious grimaces when you're expected to talk to strangers unprepared. I see these things because I've been there. I'm still there. Nothing can make me forget how it felt to sit in corners, counting minutes until I'd be back in my bed again. Assuming all passing glances from strangers were attacks and laughs were missiles. How JavaScript showed red at 10:37 p.m. Hearing no reply and thinking you hated me. Love you is what you say to your mom as she drops you off at school. It's a subconscious reflex that takes no extra thought. You say it so many times a day you lose count. I love you is apologies, goodbyes, and regrets in one. It's sorry I was a disaster. You'll be better off without me. I hope you have a good life when I'm gone. This is code that you learned by going through it yourself. There is no manual, no tutorials on YouTube, no Control-Zs, and no quick fixes. We'd have used the cheats long ago, but we can't, because this is not HTML. Goodbye. Thank you guys for visiting.
Thank you so much. It was incredible.
So good.